Something wasn't right. His heart was beating way too fast. His head was spinning. This was unusual. Erwan is someone who can usually keep his shit together, and he was quite comfortable in his seat. A stampede of thoughts and ideas rushed through his blistered mind, wild horses pounding at his temples. Shall we take a wander into the tempest and listen to what could possibly be amiss?
A wave of anxiety overtakes me when I'm on my way to a brand new city. It has something to do with the traveler's expectations. We are all busy with something, so when we are able to leave our daily rat race, we commit ourselves to a number of precious days to be spent on foreign land. A bad trip will be forever memorable, so we place a heavy burden on our port of destination, forcing it to be perfect, setting the bar way too high at times. Japan reminds me of a first date. In our times, you probably already know what she looks like and what she sounds like, leaving only her personality to be discovered. But knowing your chatty friends or the use of the internet, you have a good indication of her likes and dislikes as well. So you get to the house scared, yet prepared for what may come. The doors open to the discovery of someone you couldn't have dreamed up, the kind that leaves you smitten and feeling that you found the one. Japan takes your expectations and hands them right back at you, folded ever so neatly, catering an experience that you can never get anywhere else in the world. The very first time I went to Tokyo was also the first and last time I ever got culture shocked, in the best of ways. Things work differently here, better some say, placing the country in a separate, secluded universe of its own, comparable to none. So imagine my wide-eyed satisfaction when we landed in Osaka, the kitchen of Japan, the more laid-back, sunnier city that feels like the carefree Californian coast to the serious Tokyo CBD. Toss your plans to the wind and just live in the city's pulse. If you're landing at the Kansai airport, you find yourself about 50 minutes by train from the main city. Osaka is found in the beautiful Kansai region and acts as a great jumping-off point for day trips or overnight explorations. Other places that are interesting to visit when you are in the area include Kyoto, the Kobe region, Nara, the Awaji Islands, and many more. The city itself is huge, so you have more than enough to do in a couple of days. It helps to categorize the different neighborhoods by theme. Umeda is one of the two main city centers, often referred to as Kita or the North by locals. It's an area that is filled with buildings, shopping centers, and like anywhere else in the city, an obscene amount of food and drink choices. Namba, the other center, or Minami, the south, is just as busy. Known mostly for its long shopping streets, food and entertainment districts such as Dotonbori. Amerikamura is also in this district, an area that is more street and hip with refreshing concepts and retail stores. Shinsekai and Kyobashi are more known to be a throwback of the city with historical pockets strewn around. These are the ones you will probably spend most of your time in, and if you are here for a quick trip, I suggest staying next to Namba or Umeda. The one recurrent theme you will quickly discover is that food is at the center of everything, and more importantly, it's everywhere. People here are obsessed, and I couldn't be happier about that.
I can't even tell you how excited I am to be right here in Osaka, Japan. I'm in love with Japanese culture, and the food is gonna be absolutely amazing. And as you know, I'm someone that loves to eat. We arrived at 11 p.m. quite late, but look at it behind me and around me. Everything's open, the lights are really blaring, so I can really hear those dishes just calling us. So we're gonna eat a lot. Obviously we start off with some takoyaki. You'll usually see like these massive kind of octopus signs all over the place, and that usually what is signifying that there's some takoyaki being sold there. It's really hot, but it's delicious, and Osaka is really famous for this. I love how people here are really kind of laid back. They're all in slippers. It's very different from Tokyo, and I think the street food culture kind of plays into that. Hot.
Still hungry and in a daze, we stumble below the shining lights to one of my favorite 24-hour ramen spots in town. Honestly, after this, ramen that is not offered 24/7 is a crime.
So it's 11:30 p.m. The ramen shop behind me is absolutely full. They're known for like this massive piece of slow-cooked pork rib right on top of the ramen, which we're about to dig into. I'm really excited for that because we're just hungry, and I just really wanted a big, substantial meal.
Tokyo is known to be big, filled with an interesting, quirky culture and vast and varied. Kyoto is praised for its beauty and fascination with ancient arts. So what's left for Osaka? Well, food. Osaka is the kitchen of Japan. Let yourself be guided by your nose, and you will never truly have a bad dining experience here if you have your wits about you. The only thing that could possibly leave a bad taste in your mouth is value pricing. So just be smart. If you want something good, you can have it practically anywhere. But then depending on your location, the prices will vary. Just know what you're getting yourself into. You could have sushi both on the higher end and on the lower end of the scale. Both will be tasty. The difference is one is good, the other is excellent. The higher the prices in Japan will usually mean you are paying for something of great value, be it privacy, fish quality, the hands of the person preparing your dish, the simplicity of the service, or the precision of the offering. That being said, try to experience both, from street eats or walk-in restaurants to the Michelin-starred by reservation only counters. That is the only way you will get a good grasp of the culture. If you are looking to travel to Osaka in the next month and want to try something on the higher end, I highly recommend you make a reservation to one of the following right now: Hajime, Fujiya 1935, or Ihora. There are about 96 restaurants with at least one Michelin star in the city, and many more with high praises on Tablelog, Japan's most trusted food review site. Get around by train and then walk when you are in the neighborhoods for two simple reasons. First, that is how you discover the things no guidebook will ever be able to tell you. Also, it will allow you to just walk into random places. Secondly, taxis and private cars are way too expensive in Japan. There are a couple of things we tried that were amazing and that I would highly recommend. Make sure to grab okonomiyaki, the Japanese savory pancake, usually cooked in front of you, a mixture of lots of ingredients, sizzling on a hot plancha, topped with sauces that may seem ridiculous but turn out to be genius. Fluffy, light, and so umami. This is served with a whiskey soda or numeshu beverage, which will send you over the moon. Try out Kiji or Fukutaro for some serious eats. Another experience you must go through are the markets. Kuromon is famous, crowded, and crawling with tourists, but this doesn't necessarily mean that you won't be able to find good eats here. I would recommend just walking around before you make any commitments, and then start slowly picking your way at oysters, kyoho grapes, peaches if they are in season, grilled buttered clams, trays of uni, or this amazing grilled tuna jaw.
But one of the things I usually go for is a tuna jaw, because usually these are the cuts that are usually not as high priced, but they're definitely delicious. So this is like a teriyaki tuna jaw. So tender, so fresh. Yes, it costs $5, but it's so freaking delicious, and you know that the tuna comes from the region. We had some scallops a while ago, some oysters, and some uni. That was just freaking amazing. I just want to buy a tray and sit down and eat it, but we have a show to shoot, so we're going to keep doing it.
Most cities in Japan will have a central fish market where all the restaurants will get their fresh produce. It's always an interesting experience because you can see the bidding for certain higher valued fish, the orderly ordering system, the cleanliness of the space, and the general hard work that goes behind every piece of fish sold.
We find ourselves right here in the heart of it all, where all this beautiful produce is being slung around, massive tuna fish, a bunch of auctions happening behind us in different nodes and places. It's really great. We're really tired, we're really hungry, so good thing there's this really small restaurant here called Endo Sushi, which was set up before just to feed all the workers that would finish working here and all rush outside to eat. So this guy opened a sushi shop there that people say is one of the best sushi places in Osaka.
This is the perfect example of a simple, inexpensive sushi shop where you get exactly what you need. Fresh fish on well-prepared rice, served with care. It is not the best sushi you will ever have in your life, in my opinion, but it hits the spot hard. Other great sushi restaurants include Saeki, Kame Sushi Honten, Nawazushi, Sushito Koronjinsei, and Daiki Suisan, all varying in prices. Have you had your fill of fish? Well, you might have noticed while walking around Dotonbori larger-than-life food representations, from bowls of ramen to blowfish to the most popular one, the king crab. These signs were all actually just placed here to let tourists know in a fun way what was being served in that particular restaurant. So by no means should you think that this is the only place where you can experience the full multi-course crustacean delights. We went to locally recommended crab temple Kani Duraku, the Amimoto Becken branch, to satisfy our cravings. We found one today that came highly recommended, and it is cheaper and it is nicer. The set will set you back about $40, which is not too much. You've got some amazing crab fat. Look at that beautiful full crab sashimi right here. Then you've got some like little, very small kaiseki-like dishes, which I think are fantastic. It's like intense, almost livery. This sashimi for me looks amazing. Look at that. Just comes right off. That's how fresh it is. Sushi in Japan, always fish down. Just a little bit, you don't need that much. Fuck yeah. Fuck, that's good. So good. That's all fucking crab. Right there. That whole thing. Hell yeah. Yum. As you might have noticed, food in Japan is all about ceremony, and there's some kind of decorum you can only find here, whether you are in a really casual izakaya or a quiet sushi counter. It's actually really hard to distinguish because everyone here does it. You actually only notice it when you're back home from your trip. So to help you delve further into your Japanese eating education, introducing swoon-worthy Maria Ozawa and the proper way to eat sushi. Depending on the restaurant you are in, if the sushi is served without soy sauce or wasabi, never ask for it. If it is served with soy sauce, make sure to only lightly place the sushi fish down in the sauce. When eating maki, grab the sushi with your hands and lightly dip it in soy if needed. Never mix your wasabi in the soy sauce. If you want to add more wasabi, add a little bit to the fish. The pickled ginger is meant to be eaten between bites to freshen your palate. Instead of using your chopsticks to pass the sushi to someone, pass the plate instead. Never rub your chopsticks together. It's a sign that they are badly made. In a proper sushi bar, every element on your plate has a story, and most of the time, they are all either made from scratch or customized by the itame, so respect all of it and your environment. Bye, Maria. We hope to see you again very soon. Enough about seafood, let's talk about meat. You find yourself in the Kansai region, an area also known for its Kobe and Matsutaka beef. Most meat served in restaurants here are from Wagyu cows. The differences lie in where they are from and how they are taken care of. this will hit the price greatly. Osaka is speckled with both all-you-can-eat yakiniku restaurants for a bang-for-your-buck meat sweat festival to the sit-down bovai degustation. Some of our favorites were Yakiniku M, Tajimaya, and Tsurigyu. If you ever find yourself in a self-order tablet situation with no English menu available, and this even applies to izakayas, just take a picture of the menu and use Google Translate. This trick has saved my life more than once. There are so many restaurant styles, from udon to soba to fried things on sticks, grilled food, raw food, octopus specialized places, or curry houses. Many places focus in on one style only. Too many to name them all. So watch out for a city guide on the blog for more information. Trying to understand Japanese culture is complicated. You shouldn't really be comparing it to anything, and that's probably why it's so mind-numbing. Things are just different here. They do things however they see fit, and if they do absorb some other kind of culture into their own, they will only do so under their own terms. Take the humble cheesecake. There's nothing more American than this. The Japanese took it, made it fluffier, found different techniques for it, and now anywhere you go in the country, there are different styles, all particularly specific. They all aim to be recognized as the best, seals of excellence, the most awarded cheesecake in Japan. Wrapped in overwhelming layers of packaging, seemingly unnecessary, but it instills the prerequisite of ceremony. In my opinion, Osaka is different than Tokyo solely in terms of intensity and size, which for someone who will be visiting the country for the first time can actually be a good thing. People are slightly more laid back, and walking around without getting lost is easier, but both are fantastic in their own ways. I always say that Osaka is just Tokyo without the suit, but come nighttime, both of them are equally crazy. I spent most of my time here eating, but if you need to see some other attractions, you could go to the Osaka Castle, Universal Studios, Shitanoji, Sumiyoshi Taisha, or many of the other temples speckled around the city. If you're in the mood to spend, you'll never really run out of options in the many shopping districts and covered streets, such as the Dotonbori area, Kitahori for higher-end stores, Shinsaibashi, Doguya Suji for cooks and chefs, Ebisubashi Suji, or the areas directly around Umeda and Namba train stations for some larger malls, like Namba Parks, Rinku, Hep 5, Takashimaya, and Grand Front. If you're looking for quirkier finds, you have Denda in town for all your hentai, electronic, and gaming goods. Remember the guys who took us to Okonomiyaki? Well, when we met them for our music session, they took us around Nakazaki, a very locally flavored area. We stopped in for some coffee at one of the many original shop setups they had available. Just like food, coffee is somewhat of a local obsession as well. Take it from the guys who pretty much perfected the drip. For your caffeine fix, head on to Millport, Lilo Coffee Roasters, Guracha, Brooklyn Roasting Company, Takamura, or Kutum. Talking about unique, there are establishments that you will see here and around the country that if you were to see them anywhere else in the world, some people would be extremely critical of them. But here, they are part of the new normal. S&M bars, fat hostess clubs, host clubs, cat cafes, owl bars, it's all a little insane. But we all like insane from time to time. As long as you feel comfortable, go ahead, explore. Most of the time, they all have a good reason for being there, either to combat loneliness or to allow people who live in small spaces that can't afford pets to play with some. It's all good, clean fun, except for some, but we will cover those later. We decided to try on a maid cafe, and it was everything I wanted it to be, extremely sparkly. I have no idea where the concept of a maid cafe started, but just like many things Japanese, it's the ingestion of Western influence. Here, the sexy maid outfit turned into however they see fit to assimilate with it.
So don't I look pretty? We find ourselves in one of the many maid cafes of Osaka. It is such a quirky place. I don't see this happening in any other country in the world. Like, the decor is so kitsch. The waitresses are so kind and nice. They're here to entertain. There are different sets you can choose from, like a cocktail show, a costume show, and it's all really just safe. It's all in good fun. And they're here just to kind of give people a fun mood, a lighter mood, I guess. It's just you come here to relieve some stress and stuff, and it's just a completely different world. Absolutely completely different world. Apparently we're not allowed to take pictures and videos, but we're doing it anyways. And I think I'm liking this new look. I think I'm gonna keep this for the next overnight episodes.
In fact, walking around Osaka, American culture is visible yet distorted. The whole district of Amerikamura was set up in the 1970s, where young entrepreneurs set up shop and started importing goods from the West when American culture swept over Japan in the 80s.
You see people invest, 1930s jazz playing, people with mustaches and stuff like that, and you know very quickly what kind of part of town you are in. It's very cool, it's very hip, it's very young. I'm here enjoying my first matcha green tea of the trip, and I couldn't be happier.
This is one of my favorite areas here. From all the coffee shops, vinyl stores, to the boutiques on and around Orange Street, it represents such a modern side of Japan. Walking these streets has some kind of beautiful nostalgia nestled into it, and so did this little diner we ducked into for some pancakes.
I feel like I'm in a complete time warp. We're not allowed to shoot here, so this is why we have a weird spy angle going. This feels like Lost in Translation. Then you come into here and it's all Japanese people around us. And what are they serving? A better version of just fluffy and beautiful pancakes. So weird, yet so good.
Are pancakes not your jam? How about the now famous lobster roll from New York? You will find this American influence speckled in the streets, from people wearing printed Hawaiian shirts to burger shops using Wagyu for their patties.
So who would have thought I would come to Osaka and be pouring myself craft beer that is from a local kind of brewery and eating burgers? Like, you think this is something I do in the States? That's a good ratio for me. That's good. Really good.
After eating this burger, I started to think about the concept of fast food. Most of the meals we had were delivered to us extremely quickly and efficiently, making fast food in this nation not shitty. So we wanted to put this notion to the test. Is everything really better in Japan? Even McDonald's? How about what they consider quick, cheap food service restaurants?
So convenience stores in Japan are one of my favorite things ever. The breadth of choice is absolutely crazy. You always want to start up with some onigiri. Little pictures kind of indicate what's inside. And then after, it's all about kind of how you want to put things together. I like doing one thing, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Some pickles, which I have here, and then tamago, which I love. This beautiful soba set. Now all I need is some protein and I'm good to go. This looks like something I'm looking for. Another thing that's really good here is the milk. So I'm not too sure what this is, but I'm pretty sure it's freaking good. And then finally for dessert, one of these layered cakes, which I love. I'm good to go. These Japanese pickles are something out of this world. Dip that right in. That's yogurt. That was milk, it's yogurt. So delicious. Onigiri. These are the ones I usually have a very hard time doing. I can never get it right. It's really weird. So there's a system to this. I think you start by opening. I think you start by opening the sticker first, and then follow the proper numbering. So number 1 has to be opened up before anything else. So that's number 1. And then you're supposed to pull out number 2. That's completely wrong already. I've never understood how to do this. I have a couple friends who are like pros at this. I'm always terrible, but the end result is the same. It is a covered onigiri. Like a nice tuna mayo. So good. These are like perfect little energy snacks. I feel like I am betraying Japan by doing this. I hate McDonald's in any other location, in any other kind of situation, but these two guys forced me to do it. Apparently, the McDonald's here is better than everywhere else in the world, so I got the chicken sandwich, because that is, for me, the hardest sandwich to do. So I was looking for some other crazy Japanese variations, but they didn't have anything. They had like a teriyaki-looking burger, but apparently it's out of stock, so let's give this a try. It's actually pretty juicy, but it's still shit. Now this is fast food I can get behind, for sure. Imagine being drunk and eating this. It's like
Give me 6 bowls, please. Never eating McDonald's again. Japan always wins. Nightlife in Osaka is a party. You can reliably experience everything from the extremely Asian karaoke scene, to the whiskey bar, to sake cellars, and strangely ambiguous red light districts in Minami, or to the over-the-top arcades.
I think I'm pretty much ready for this Japanese just gaming kind of entertainment system that they've got going on. Keep up, it's gonna be a fun night.
After letting the big kid out of you again, it's time to get serious with our booze. If you want to experience Japanese drinking culture, you should head on to whiskey and cocktail bars like Bar K, Rajan's Tavern for one of the most amazing bourbon collections in the East, Bar Yoshida, or even Bar Juniper. I had an itch for some good sake and shoshu, so we headed underground to Shimada Shoten for an intimate experience. So we find ourselves in the underground sake tasting room. So it's kind of like this creepy basement vibe, and they've got this amazing selection of sake. The system's pretty cool because it's an honesty system. Once they gave us the bottles, they went back up. He explained a little bit about, the taste and how to compare them.
You try finish.
Last.
All
Okay.
sake, each glass, pour.
Each glass, yep.
And please recommend.
Okay, and then we count the glasses.
Please compare.
Yes. Okay, so we keep glasses. Okay. And he left, and the bottles are right here. So they basically trust us not to finish this. I feel so Japanese. This is my Japanese badge. I am officially a samurai. Cheers. So they start you off in something a bit more sweet. Second one is on the drier notes. Once you feel like your mouth is getting overcrowded with flavor, I like taking some miso paste. That's what they call chunky miso. Salty. It's like briny, so it kind of cancels things out. Then we move on to number 3. Again, slightly drier. And I'll try maybe some of this cheese. It looks like feta cheese, but they called it sake-less cheese. Whatever that means. It tastes like a vache qui rit. You know that white cheese from France with the laughing cow on the thing? That's exactly what it tastes like. So the fourth sake, that one is all alcohol. Very smart how they do it. So they start you really soft and sweet. They move you towards hard and kind of hardcore. That staircase after must cause a lot of problems for people for sure. And I think it's pretty important to note that they close at 7 p.m. So probably people come in, get smashed really quickly, 7 p.m. leave. It's really miso.
What's that?
So salty.
Oh.
Oof. That's the type of shit, it's like salted peanuts.
Yeah.
They give it to you so that you can drink more. That is fucking high in sodium. But this makes sense after it. It can always help to have a Japanese friend walk you through some bottles as well. Sake is as varied as wine, so imagine discovering French wine for the first time. How confusing it all must sound. Well, sake is no different. All right, so we're here with Kuni. We're about to try some sake. So this is from Nara.
Yes,
correct?
from the middle, from the Nara prefecture.
All right.
You can sip it, don't drink everything one time. Just sip
Just
it,
slow
sip it.
sips. Most clubs will close at around 1 a.m. on weekdays, except for a place like Heaven that only opens at 5 a.m. All the others like Giraffe, Club Jewel, Triangle if you want to hop into a jacuzzi, or Club Owl would require you to show up early if you want to have a good time. In my opinion, bar hopping is more fun in Osaka, but if you feel like you need some loud music with lots of other people, you could club hop as well in Namba or Umeda. The possibilities are truly endless. Just be open-minded. You will never really feel unwelcome. Keep your eyes up to the long vertical signs along each building, as it will usually indicate exactly what each floor houses. If you can't understand the characters, just snap a picture of it, translate it, and whatever catches your eye, go ahead, get in the elevator, open a door, and see what lies inside. If you happen to walk into a private club, a love hotel, a massage parlor, it's all good. Just excuse yourself and be on your way. I was happiest in a little walk-up alternative rock club in Amerikamura, aptly called Rock Rock, where there's a DJ playing a set with his huge rock vinyl repertoire, rocking out to The Killers and some local Japanese rock. It's not the most beautiful of cities. In fact, its skyline is busy and constantly growing to the disapproval of many locals. However, in this culture, it's not polite to talk about your problems. But you can see that there's a general economic slowdown that is affecting the city. And many say that the nation as a whole, the archipelago will persevere though, as it always has, self-sufficient and progressive. It has that power. It makes you feel like the system is actually working the way it's supposed to be. A grid during the day with rules that need to be followed, and a flip side at night where people can purge all their daily frustrations. After every trip to Japan, I always question every detail of all the mundane things we do in our daily lives. Things that have been instilled in us since we were children, that we've never really bothered to question. Take the toilet, a boring necessity. In Japan, a shrine of technology with seemingly unnecessarily bells and whistles like music and well-placed jets that once used become amenities that you wish you had in your own home. It's like opening your eyes and taste buds for the first time. You experience everything again, re-establishing your new normal. It pushes you to want to be a better person, more polite, more cultural empathetic, nicer to strangers, and it makes you actually want to stop jaywalking. Imagine a country, a magical place where natural fruits mimic flavored candies and not the other way around. Where it's okay to stand around naked in a bath and converse with strangers. Where instead of pointing you in the right direction, the person you ask on the street will actually walk you to your destination. Where men can wear cat ears while interacting with a grown woman dressed in a fetish fantasy maid costume. Well, it's real, and it's not far away. Just be ready to wake up the next day in your bed with the vilest educational hangover of your life, smelling like grilled meat and with the tastes of admiration and bewilderment left lingering in your mouth.
What a wonderful voyage that was. And with that, kids, we bid you a warm farewell until we see each other next time for another overnight adventure. Keep your passports tight and traveling shoes ready, because life happens in transit.
Make sure to check out Season 1 of Overnight and our last 2 videos in Hanoi and Hong Kong. Watch out for our next episode in the more laid-back Japanese of Fukuoka. Don't forget to subscribe and follow all my social media accounts.
So Overnight was brought to you by our good friends at Cebu Pacific, and here's a quick travel hack for you. Use your smartphone, take pictures of your passport, boarding pass, of your luggage tag, of your hotel or Airbnb address, all of that, just to make sure that you have all that information stored on your smartphone, and even if you don't have data when you land, you can still access it.